我的爷爷曾经传下来一块波威怀表，然后我的父亲在我来到英国之前呢，郑重地把它转交给我，让我传承下去。那么我也非常了解这个波威的这个历史，那么从此之后就一发不可收，开始习惯上了钟表。钟表就是两个大国家称霸世界哈，一个是英国，一个是法国。英国它以机械，它以机芯的这个美或者机芯的这个质量来著称的，而法国人明知道他跟英国人没有办法竞争这方面的技术问题，所以法国人用一个比较简单的机芯，但是它的外壳制作，它的手工艺是非常强的。确切说来，要选择哪个国家的话，那我还是偏向于英国。今天呢，我们去英国南部的一个城市叫温切斯特的一个非常古老的城市，去走访一间可以说是英国最顶级的古董钟店。我记得是有一次几年前在一次拍卖会上，可能我当时的这个下手比较强吧，这个引起了这位老板的注意，后来我们结为了朋友。Oh my God, that's the beautiful part.
As a boy, I liked mechanical instruments and engines and anything mechanical I liked. It was my interest in machines, and clocks were the perfect avenue to follow. In 1658, the pendulum was introduced, and once the pendulum was introduced, timekeeping changed quite dramatically. It was this technology-based idea that actually changed clockmaking the world over. That was quite something. The most expensive clock that we've handled was a clock that belonged to a very famous English collector called Tom Scott. We were fortunate enough to handle Tom's entire collection over the last 2 years. He had a very special royal clock. It was made for the king by Thomas Tompion. It was a political gift to one of the king's cousins, and his name was Medici. That clock we sold for £4.5 million, and that's the most expensive clock we have handled. It's becoming more difficult to actually find good people to come into the business. The team of people that we currently have, they've all been in clocks their entire lives. We've got, of course, there's myself, there is another chap in the workshop who's been there for 37 years, another one who's been working on clocks for 45 years. We do have a young man who's only been working on clocks for about 7 years. He's our sort of newest person.
My current project is to work on a German clock, which a very worn calendar mechanism, an unusual calendar mechanism, which uses a ribbon with the days of the month on the date, which has perished. We need to replace the ribbon, which is 110 years old, and find a suitable ribbon to replace it with the same print that looks relatively authentic.
One of the not so much challenging but more interesting parts of clockmaking is trying to find out what past repairers have done to the clock in the past that hasn't worked. So you've got to try and go back into their steps and see what they've done to the clock and how you need to re-repair what they haven't repaired correctly. Getting clocks that haven't been able to tick for many years, and then you've been able to sort them out, and it's just bringing them back to life is very rewarding.
我们今天来到位英国南部肯特郡德里克·罗伯特先生的家里。 德里克·罗伯特，他是世界上非常著名的撰写古董钟书籍的专家，一生中著有9部专著。
I started about 50 years ago, I suppose. I was in dentistry for many, many years, and then at that stage, I was looking for another interest, really. I met a man who had a workshop in the cellars, and so he explained all the restoration of the clocks and how they worked to me and everything else. And I then found it fascinating, and so I bought more clocks. That's really how it started, and that went very well. Maybe 1800 or earlier than that. The French made some beautiful clocks. The French produced some wonderful clocks. The English clocks tended to continue the same style and design for a long, long time, where the French were more innovative, and that's why I like them. I just like spreading knowledge. The nicest thing to do, I think, is if you have a lot of knowledge of a particular subject, is to share it with other people. And the best way of sharing knowledge with other people is to write about it. And then they stay there, and everybody benefits then. If you don't write about it, people aren't going to know about it. And that's a waste. So why don't you write a little book or an article or something so that everybody can share that knowledge? So that's what I've really been interested in.
中国市场怀表没有更多的怀表的介绍，从起源到怎么样发展到怎么样结束，这是一个非常就是藏友非常想了解的一个过程。Hello, Johnny.
Alan,
Hey.
how are you?
Good to
nice
see
to
you,
see
good
you.
to see
Okay,
you. Hi.
good. Come in. Let me show you some stuff.
All right.
It's a watch. I originally started in the watch business in 1972. 40 years ago, it was a completely different time. You know, people were very, very keen to share their knowledge with you. Today, it's not so. And people are very quite surprised when they come into our shop that we actually spend time with them to show them our watches. Whether they buy or whether they don't buy, it's not important. But I love talking about watches. It's a real passion of mine. Here's just a small little selection of little goodies that we keep tucked away in the safe. And I think the earliest watch on this tray is probably this watch over here, which is circa 1680. And it's got the most magnificent outside case. The case is manufactured in tortoiseshell with inlaid silver and mother of pearl on the front and on the back. The most amazing thing about this watch really is its condition, because due to the nature of the material, they are nearly always damaged, and this one is in absolutely perfect condition. So that's the outside case, and this is the inside case which holds the movement. Beautiful silver Champlain sign dial. Here is the movement, which is absolutely magnificent, and it really is in condition like the day it was made. Considering this watch is over 340 years old, is quite astounding. It was made by Richard Johnson of London. Beautiful dial, beautiful pillars over here, movement. It's a magnificent piece. But it's a one-off piece. This is a great looking piece. This is a cane handle. And it opens and shuts like that, so you close it and no one can see what you've got. Then you open it up and then you can view the timepiece inside it. I've only seen one other one like this, but it's a beautiful, beautiful piece. It's a lovely business to be in. I love the business. It's like, you know, working in a hobby.
我在收藏这个钟表的过程当中呢，我就发现一个非常困难的一件事情，就是所有的钟表收藏品类的书啊，都是以外文的，因为钟表是西洋的东西嘛，对吧？ 所以就是你需要一本这样的中文书，可是非常遗憾，在中国就没有这样的书。那么这就是唯一一个动力，让我想作为详细介绍古董钟表的门类的书籍的第一人，这就是我的动力去写这本书。
今天呢，既然是一个书的发明会，那么我想应该多聊聊关于书方面的事儿。
在我看来，收藏最终不是金钱的较量，而是文化的搏击。